Okay, so I have some cards in my hand. I probably want to start attacking something right away. So I'm going to play an opportunistic pathogen. So I can start attacking one of these. And you can see that stomach acid and microbiome have 2 defense. So I can start attacking one of those. And then I have 4 DNA to purchase. You know, I could also put out my other opportunistic pathogen. But I don't know if well, actually, I think I will. I'm going to put out my other opportunistic pathogen. So now I've got 2 opportunistic pathogens in play doing a little damage to the body. And I've got 3 DNA left. So I think I'm going to get this alpha hemolysin because this is not track specific, so I can use it in a lot of my cards. And it lets me have a higher hand limit, which seems like it will be very useful. So we're going to purchase that, and that's going to be basically the end of my turn. I then have these 2 opportunistic pathogens that I can deal some damage to the body. I'm going to attack the gastrointestinal tract, and I get 2 DNA for that. And I'm going to attack the microbiome in the tissue tract, and I get 2 DNA for that. Very nice. And that is the end of that turn. We refill the gene pool. That should have happened a second ago. And then we're going to discard the top immune system card. Perfect. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw back up to a hand of 5. And we'll keep going. Okay, I don't want to put out any more pathogens right now, I think. Or do I? You know, actually, I think I sort of do. I'm going to... Well, no, I don't think I do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DNA to purchase things with. And I'm not seeing... I mean, there's this, which is a really nice card, but I think what I want is I'm going to maybe start getting some more pathogens, so basically just so I get more buying power. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Doesn't really matter which cards I spend right now. And I'm going to get, let's just say, a respiratory pathogen and a gastrointestinal, a tissue pathogen, and we're going to add those to my discard pile. And then I have a little bit more buying power. And then I still have 1 card in my hand. I'm going to save it for my next turn. So again, I have 2 attack and 2 attack, or I could do 4 attack. For now, I'm going to attack the tissue system for 2 and get rid of that lysozyme, and that is as much damage as I can do this turn. You know, I forgot, actually, I had these, I always forget about these DNA tokens that I have, so I could actually buy something else. And in fact, I'm going to get a pathogen for every tract, so I'm going to spend 2 of these that I had and get a gastrointestinal one. And then I think I'm going to spend 2, and I'm going to get phospholipase C. And then I have the 2 that I got this round. Ooh, that's a nice one. It's got some defense on it too. So that was my turn. I'm then going to shuffle up a guess. In fact, I think I am just going to discard this new DNA card that I had. And I might use that. You know, I'm going to discard this biofilm and replace it because I don't really need it right now. Okay, we're going to shuffle up and get ready for the next round. And of course, we need to discard another immune card. All right. Round 3. So I've got some cool stuff already, and I'm going to begin by attaching this alpha hemolysin to my opportunistic pathogen here, which lets me draw 1 card immediately. And then my hand limit from now on is 6, as long as this attachment is still in play. I've then got this and this, which I could put out, but I don't feel like I need to get these pathogens out into play right away, I'm mainly using these for purchasing power. I do, however, have a certain issue, which is this is going to be dealing 3 damage. This one's only going to be dealing 2 damage, so he's not going to be actually doing anything to any of the body tracks this round, which is sort of sucky. Let's see if I have... I do. I have this new DNA card, Infection, which I can trash it to place the next card I acquire on top of my deck. And I'm going to do that because I want to get this trait and get it out into play. So I'm going to trash my new DNA card, put it into my trash pile, and then the next card I acquire this round, or this turn, is going onto the top of my deck. We're going to play these two to put Shiga Toxin on top of my deck here. Actually, I'm going to play the Respiratory Pathogen and the normal Flora to do that. Ooh, what is this? An Exfoliative Toxin. That's really cool, and it's got very strong attack. And then I'm going to, I think, actually put out my Gastrointestinal Pathogen. No, I don't know. I think I might want to hold on to it. I might want to start buying some super pathogens just to get some more buying power in. But I also have this Competence, which is a great environment card. It's worth 3 DNA. So I think I'm going to start by using this card to get my Competence into my discard pile. And then I've still got the 2 DNA that I might spend or I might not. And there's another Competence. Well, let's just get that. So we got 1. And then I still have 1 more DNA. Yeah, I'll get E. coli. So I already have 1 DNA left. We're going to spend 1 and get this E. coli heat stable toxin, which, funnily enough, is not a toxin. It's a trait. Who knows why? And then that is going to be it for this round. Oh, and there's another Competence. That is amazing. I am super lucky to have all these Competence cards. So that is it for the card play, and then we do the attack. So this is 3 attack. I can attack any body system. I don't want to just focus on the tissue because, again, if I wear out the tissue system too fast, I'm going to have to be facing the immune system too fast. So I think I'm going to start attacking maybe the respiratory tract because I don't think I've done any damage to them yet. So that was 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I can attack with my opportunistic pathogen as well, the ciliary escalator, mucus. So I got through the mucus barrier and the ciliated cell barrier. And then we're going to discard this immune system card, and remember, drawing up to 6 cards now because of my alpha hemolysin. Perfect. And now I've got some more stuff I can put into play. Phospholipase C, I got a Shiga Toxin. This is fun. So my phospholipase C, I think I'm going to attach to my opportunistic pathogen over here. And we will attach the Shiga Toxin over here, which means that this is now only going to be able to target the respiratory tract. This one is now only going to be able to target the gastrointestinal tract as long as I use these abilities. I can ignore these abilities and then target a different tract if I wanted. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out. I'm going to get another Competence because it's great that all these Competence cards are coming out. Oh my god, there's another one. I have to get it. And then I still have 2 left, and I'm going to spend these 2, and I'm actually going to now swap out these opportunistic pathogens for some tract-specific pathogens. So I'm going to basically upgrade that one, and that costs me 2. And so now that is a gastrointestinal specific tract pathogen, and we're going to spend 2 of the DNA from here and also do the same with this one to it is a respiratory tract specific pathogen. And then I still have 4 DNA tokens that I can spend. I think I'm going to hold on to them for this round. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to them for this round because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet for the rest of the coming rounds. So we're going to leave it how it is, and we're going to attack the body. So the respiratory pathogen with phospholipase C can deal 4 damage to the respiratory tract. So we're going to do 3, and like so. And then the gastrointestinal pathogen that has the Shiga toxin and alpha-hemolysin can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to the gastrointestinal tract. So we're doing 3 to get through the microbiomes of the gastrointestinal tract, and then 2 to get through the stomach acid. Now, attacking is non-optional in this game, in case you were wondering, so I have to use all these attack points if I can. But if it's not tract specific, I can actually be a little trickier and say, okay, I'm just going to attack this tract for this turn. So now I actually want to get to this tissue tract, 1, 2, and we want to start dealing damage to the tissue tract because that is the one that is now lagging behind. Oh, and of course we got to discard 1 immune system card. All right, we're drawing back up to 6, remember, because of alpha-hemolysin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And there's my tissue pathogen. So I'm just going to start by putting that into play. And you know what? I'm going to rearrange these things because I want the tract-specific pathogens to be aligned with the tracts that they are attacking. That just makes it a little easier. So there's the gastrointestinal tract. Here's the tissue tract in the middle. And here is the respiratory tract over here. And now I also have E. coli heat stable toxin that I can attach to my gastrointestinal pathogens to start doing some real damage. And I have these competence cards, which is great. And then I have some new DNA cards. And I definitely want this, but let me look at my new DNA cards. Not helpful. Not helpful. Okay, perfect. So I'm definitely going to get this exfoliative toxin to start upgrading my tissue pathogen. And protein A I definitely want. So I can discard a competence and one of these new DNA cards to get protein A. Adhesin is cheap, but it does offer defense, and defense is super important once the immune system becomes active. But for now, we'll leave that alone. And I think I'm going to actually upgrade all of my pathogens, if I can, to super pathogens. And the reason I want to upgrade these to super pathogens now is because the immune system is going to come into play in the next round or two. And I want this defense to be as high as possible. So we're going to begin with... actually, I think I might just upgrade the gastrointestinal pathogen because that's the only one that has any attachments right now. So we got 1 DNA, 2, 3, 4. That's how much it costs to get a super gastrointestinal pathogen, like so. And so this one gets trashed. This one replaces it, and we can rearrange things if we wanted, only when you upgrade a pathogen. So that is that. That's my whole turn, I believe. I've still got some DNA that I can use. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to use it right now because I'm not going to shuffle my deck anytime soon. So why bother? Okay, so then we go into the attack the body phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage from this awesome gastrointestinal pathogen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have broken through the first line of defense of the human immune system in the gastrointestinal tract, and we're going to start dealing 2 additional damage to the gastrointestinal cells. Perfect. Tissue pathogen, you cannot break through, unfortunately. And the respiratory pathogen deals 4, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have now broken through the respiratory tract as well, and we can start dealing damage to that. But that also means that the immune system is going to start fighting back, starting with this next round, unfortunately. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did not discard an immune system card, notice, because there is now at least one tract that does not have any barrier cards attached. Okay. So I've got all of this stuff. I've got my competence cards back. I've got my respiratory pathogen and my gastrointestinal pathogen. I don't necessarily want to start putting out more pathogens because now that the immune system is in play, I'm going to have to draw a card for every pathogen I have. And remember, that's a timer for the game. So I don't necessarily want to put out more pathogens right now. But I do want to go ahead and upgrade my remaining 2 pathogens because I want them to have the maximum chance of survival. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to, let's see. I don't think I have any new DNA cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to upgrade this tissue pathogen to a super tissue pathogen. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to upgrade this respiratory pathogen to a super respiratory pathogen, which has slightly more defense. And then we have 4 still. Adhesin gives me some defense. This one might be good, but you have to play it on your pathogen with the lowest defense. These aren't that great. And this one is good if I have multiple pathogens attacking the same body tract. So that might be a reason to put this gastrointestinal pathogen into play. Look at this. One trait on this pathogen is shared to all other pathogens attacking the same body tract. So for instance, I could give it the Shiga toxin so that it also has +2 attack and +1 defense. The problem is I wouldn't be able to put it into play right away, and this pathogen would probably die very quickly. So I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to probably just buy some stuff. But I will, I think, buy the fertility plasmid just so I have it. And then, let's see what replaces it. More adhesin. Now, adhesin, I guess, is worth getting, but, I mean, it's 1 defense. It takes up a slot. But that 1 defense could be the difference, right? From surviving an attack from the human immune system. So, I don't know. And then I have a lot of DNA that I could possibly spend, and I will be shuffling my deck pretty soon. So I think I'm going to actually try and spend this DNA. So we'll start by spending 2 to get this exhaustion environment card. I definitely want streptokinase, so we're going to spend 3. I definitely want Concrud. Concrud is a super important card. First of all, it's an environment card that can be played on any pathogen to give it the, what is it called, preemptive attack. But you can also trash the card so all your pathogens get preemptive attack. It's a great move if you can manage it on the last round of the game. So I'm definitely getting Concrud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great card there. And we have an environment card that only targets tissue pathogens, but does give them that preemptive attack. That's probably worth getting. So we're going to spend 3. And botulism toxin, that would be amazing, but my current gastrointestinal pathogen can't afford it. Oh, don't I already have a botulism toxin? Did I already get that, or did I just show it to you at the beginning of the game? I don't remember, actually. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Let's see. Let's get the Botox. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, that would have been even better, but I can't afford it now. And I guess I'll save my last token because I really want to get this now. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get 5 DNA in one turn. Okay, so now is where the immune system comes into play, unfortunately. So each of my pathogens gets an immune system card, and then I reveal them all and resolve them all at the same time. So, amazing. I was very lucky. I got alternate complement attack on both of these, which only does an attack of 2. If I had not upgraded these to super pathogens, they would not have survived. But as it is, they do. Unfortunately, alternate complement attack puts a C3 on each of these pathogens, which means they are much more likely to get damage from the other parts of the immune system, specifically the complement system, later on in the game. So these have a shelf life on them now. They are going to die fairly soon. And then this one is a basophil. If one of your pathogens has the immunoglobulin E, move there and draw an additional immune card for that pathogen. None of them do, so it stays where it is, and it just deals 3 damage. Now, I can take the 3 damage just because I have Shiga Toxin. So, actually, I survived the immune system's attack that round. I was very lucky. So that means I get to deal damage. Now, here's where it gets really fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage directly to the cells in the gastrointestinal tract. Isn't that great? I love it. This one, my respiratory pathogen, is dealing 4 damage to the cells in the respiratory tract, so I deal 4 damage there. And unfortunately, my tissue pathogen still can't break through because I don't have any attachments, and it's only dealing 2 damage. It needs to deal 3. Okay, we're ready for the next turn. I've drawn back up to 6 cards because remember my alpha hemolysin. And there we go. There we go. I can put my exfoliative toxin on my super tissue pathogen. Now, that means it's going to deal 5 damage this turn, and I can play an open wound on this toxin, which means I can attack the tract before the immune system fights back. That's great. And then I have some competence. I have some new DNA cards. I have all of this. Now, I don't want to play this because I would have to get rid of all these cards from the center of the gene pool. I could use this to kill a pathogen. Now, that seems counterintuitive in a solo game, but remember, once this guy completely depletes this tract, he's doing nothing. He's doing no damage no more. So I want to kill him, get him out of play, because otherwise I'm just going to keep drawing immune cards for him until he dies from the immune system, and he's not doing anything for me anymore. But I don't want to use it right now, so I think I'm just going to use all of these cards as they are, and we're going to get that cholera toxin. That is super important. So we're going to do the cholera toxin like so. And another protein A. Protein A is also very, very, very useful. So I need that protein A. I can't afford it, unfortunately, this turn. I will keep... Now, I'm going to discard this new DNA card to cycle this bacteriophage out because I don't really want it. You know, I haven't played a lot with bacteriophage. I don't really like it that much. And biofilm, the sharing traits thing, I haven't used a lot because the rules are pretty restrictive about it. Basically, you can't benefit from a trait that you already are benefiting from, and there's various crazy rules about that. So I haven't used those too much. Anyway, back to the game. So, perfect. We're going to start with the preemptive attack from my tissue pathogen. It's going to deal 5 damage to this body tract. So that's 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, I only broke through 1 layer of defense. And we're going to put those 3 tokens here to show that this is already attacked this round. And then we're going to deal our immune system response. 1, 2, 3. And see how we can handle that. No! No! Okay. So we're going to begin with the global effect from the inflammation. +1 attack is added to all other immune defense cards played on your pathogens, which means these are all dealing 5 attack instead of 4. 4 would have been enough anyway, but 5 is still bad. So this is going to deal 5 attack, which means it kills this pathogen. If the pathogen is killed, discard the top card of the immune deck. So I'm going to have to shuffle up the immune deck in a second here. And then this one, if one of your pathogens has IG3 or C3, move there and increase to 8 attack. Well, this has C3, so it's going to stay here. Actually, you know what? This one's going to die anyway. So I'm going to move to this one, and then this guy's going to survive. That works, right? I think. So we don't actually discard the immune system cards until the end, I believe. Yeah, that's the very last thing that happens, which means, unfortunately, I need to shuffle this, and there's going to be now 3 fewer turns in the game, which doesn't seem fair to me at all, but that is the way the cookie crumbles because of this stupid dendritic cell. Dendritic cells engulf and destroy pathogens and then display pieces of them to the helper T cells, according to this card. And they're also big, dumb turds. All right, so this cell gets killed, which means I have to discard the top immune system card and discard all of these cards. And then I can discard these. The inflammation does nothing this turn. Nothing. It's meaningless. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more damage to the gastrointestinal tract. Perfect. And of course, 4 more damage to the respiratory tract. Great. All right. By the way, my high score for this game, well, I only played it a couple of times with this variant, but my high score is 105 points. Let's see if we can beat that with this game. Okay, we're ready for the next round. And what I think I'm going to do here, actually, is we're going to start, I think this will work. We're going to start really going heavy on the gastrointestinal tract, and I'm going to put this respiratory pathogen into play, but then I'm going to upgrade it using basically all of my DNA into a super multi-point of entry pathogen. Then I'm going to attach this fertility plasmid to my other gastrointestinal pathogen, which means it can share one of its traits with another pathogen. So we're going to share the Shiga toxin to this gastrointestinal pathogen. So now it's got basically 4 attack and 4 defense, which is pretty nice. And then we also have this exhaustion card we're going to put on my pathogen with the lowest defense. So this is going to attack before the immune system attacks this round. In addition, I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 DNA points, and we're going to get protein A, and we're just going to put that in my discard pile like so. Hi, pup. You're good. You're good. Yes. You're a cutie. All right, so let's deal with attacks. So first, because of exhaustion in the body, the respiratory pathogen gets a free attack in, so it's going to deal 4 damage to the respiratory tract and probably get destroyed this turn. And then everybody gets an immune system card. 1, 2, 3. Immune for you, and for you. Very nice. Oh no. That helper T cell, that's terrible. Oh no, that's even worse. And immunoglobulin class A antibody neutralization. This card must move to one of your pathogens with a toxin card if available. Discard all toxin cards on this pathogen. Luckily, none of my toxin pathogens have toxin cards, and this actually doesn't deal any damage. So this pathogen is going to survive for another round. That's perfect. This one's going to survive, but that's sort of unfortunate because I got a chemokine. And the chemokine basically means, well, let's put it on there. It's going to draw another immune system card every round. That's awful. Awful, awful, awful bad. And then this helper T cell is just going to go after the strongest pathogen, which happens to be the one it's already on, and it gets destroyed. Which means I don't get the benefit from the Shiga toxin. Because this pathogen is destroyed, that benefit's going to last for the rest of this round, but or for the rest of this phase, but then it's not going to apply from that point forward, which means when we go into the next phase, which is actually attacking the body, this guy still only does 2 attack. And I still have to continue attacking this tract, or at least I believe I do. And this guy's already done his attack, so we'll just move those over. And that is that round. That was disappointing. But now I have fewer pathogens in play. I am going to be drawing fewer of those immune response cards. Oh, and I only have to draw 5 cards now because I lost my card that let me draw additional cards. Darn it. Okay, so this is actually great. I've got streptokinase, which I can attach to my multi-point of entry pathogen, which is going to be very fun. You know what? Actually, but I want him to be destroyed. I don't want that thing there. Do I have my... No, I don't even have my new DNA card that lets me remove these immune system tokens. I sort of want this guy dead, so maybe I should attach the streptokinase to my respiratory pathogen. Because I don't want to be drawing extra immune cards over and over and over again. I want this guy dead. And then I have Botox. Sure, we'll attach the Botoxin. Actually, no, I want that guy dead. So we're going to do this. We're going to get another gastrointestinal pathogen into play. But that's just a weak one. Oh, man. Now, we're not going to put that other gastrointestinal pathogen into play. We're going to attach Botoxin to this guy. So again, he's going to be targeting the gastrointestinal tract. And we're going to give him Concrud so that he gets to attack before the immune system attacks this round. And then we have 5 purchasing power. With my 5 purchasing power, I think that alpha hemolysin looks good. And I can get some adhesin, which is going to raise my defense. We're gonna do that. With my 5 purchasing power, we're going to get alpha hemolysin and the 2 adhesins. And screw whatever comes up next. Oh man, that was a good card. Oh man, that's a really good card. Oh man, that's a super good card. Whatever, man. We made our choice. And then we're going to do the attack from the multi-point of entry pathogen that has Botox. And it's going to deal 6 damage. Wow, amazing. Super strong. And then the immune system is going to fight back. 1, 2. And this one gets a second one. And we'll see what they do. Okay. Oh, man. Another C3 token. But you know what? I don't think an additional C3 token does anything. So we're ignoring it. This one, again, we get another C3 token on this, which should have it. And this awful immunoglobulin class A antibody neutralization. This does have a toxin card attached, and it says discard all toxin cards on this pathogen. So look at that. This actually was a really decent immune system response, which means I am a little screwed for next round because this guy's still in play, and he's still doing stupid drawing additional immune system cards, which is dumb. Okay, perfect. And then we are going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 cards. And look at my huge deck. I'm going to need to start doing something about that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to before the game is over, because if I start culling cards in my deck now, will I even make it to another shuffle? I don't know. Okay. I love this super multi-point of entry pathogen. And 1. Okay, fun. So I can give him Protein A. Perfect! Antibody tokens attached to this pathogen are destroyed. Now, it says antibody tokens are only immunoglobulin G, E, and M. That does not count chemokines and C3. That is stupid. Oh well. At least it gives him some additional defense. But I don't want this guy to have additional defense. Oh, that's dumb. This guy I do want to have additional defense. We're going to give him some additional defense, like so. And I can't give him 2 protein A's. So I guess I could keep the protein A in my hand. I really want this guy to just die. So we're going to keep the protein A in my hand, excuse me. And we're going to buy some cards. What the heck? We'll get this mutation. No, that's not right. And mycolic acid, that would be great, but I can't afford it. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spent 3. Can't afford it, unfortunately. But mycolic acid would be really nice to have. But I can't afford it. I already said that. I can't afford it. Get it in your head. So let's just get the survival of the fittest card. And that's it. We'll just end there. Okay, and we'll discard this card. I don't want to keep this card, but I do want to keep this one. And then we will do our immune response. Oh, man. This is dumb. Why do you have chemokines? Okay, perfect. If this pathogen dies, 1 automatic damage is done to the body as well. Haha, stupid cytotoxic T cell. And we have a helper T cell, which must move to your pathogen with the greatest defense, which unfortunately is this one, which I just boosted the stupid defense. And this is another alternate complement attack. So this is 12 damage to this guy. No way he got 6. No, that's definitely not going to happen. This, if this pathogen dies, 1 automatic damage is done to the body as well. Finally, this guy's going to die, and we're going to deal 1 automatic damage to the body as well, which we will take out of the respiratory tract because that seems like I haven't dealt as much damage to that thing. And then, of course, this one is also going to die. Oh, look at all of these. 1, 2, 3. Look at all these immune system cards I had to draw. All right, perfect. This is going to be tough because now I'm going to have to start 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have to start trying to build up my attack again. And if I can't get a toxin into play, I'm sort of screwed. Or not a toxin. If I can't get a pathogen into play, then this guy's going to start attacking me. And here's another reason why my solo variant is better than the official solo variant. If you cannot have any pathogens be attacked by the immune system attacks you. And what happens? Either you show your hand to the other players, discard your entire hand to draw a new hand. This may be repeated until you draw a hand of cards containing a pathogen, or the immune system attacks you and you lose damage tokens, which decreases your score. Now, I would be tempted to say that that should be the only choice in a solo game, but considering I have no pathogens in play, I think, according to the official rules, I can keep drawing until I get a pathogen. I don't think that's a good... No. I think in the solo game, I'm going to have to be attacked by the body system. But I do have this new DNA card. So I can trash this new DNA card, adaptation, to discard any number of cards from your hand to draw as many cards as you discarded. So I'm going to discard the botulism toxin and this other new DNA card. And we're going to keep protein A and adhesin, and hopefully I get a pathogen. No, I didn't get any pathogens. No! Well, maybe I should have taken the other option. But I don't know if that should be allowed in the solo game. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sort of screwed. Oh, I hope this does not hurt me too badly. It's going to start taking away from my points. Okay. So, we've got competence. We've got 6 DNA that we can use to buy things. I think I want this, medical implants. That cost me... No, I wanted mycolic acid. We're going to get the mycolic acid first. Mycolic acid, and we'll get... I have 2 more, so I can buy this, whatever it was. And that's it. And then the immune system is going to attack me. What's it going to do? Oh, well, that doesn't really do much. Immunoglobulin, class G antibody opsonization. Add an IgG token to any player's pathogen. immediately draw a new immune card for this pathogen. So unfortunately, I do have to draw a new card. Oh, that sucks. Maybe I should have allowed that other rule. I don't know. No! 6 damage. That's terrible. So we're going to take 6 damage away from me. I should have allowed that other rule. I don't know. Should I allow that other rule? We'll see. If this happens another turn, then maybe I should allow it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not enough. Yeah, we're going to go back and we're going to allow that rule and see how the game would play out differently. Okay, take 2 of that turn. We're going to discard our entire hand because we have no pathogens. Draw back up to 5. Look, we still have no pathogens. Discard our entire hand. Draw back up to 5. Look, we still have no pathogens. We're going to discard our entire hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw back up. There's a pathogen. Let me make sure I didn't draw any pathogens in that entire time. No, I don't think none of those were pathogens. So that was a bad run of luck. So I believe that was how you're supposed to play it according to the rules. You just keep doing it until you get a pathogen. Maybe repeat it until you draw a hand of cards containing a pathogen. So clearly I have a pathogen. Now, is this a good hand of cards? No. But we will do what we can with it. So we're going to put out this gastrointestinal pathogen. I need a gastrointestinal pathogen in play. And then we have these other cards I can't use currently. And we have this environment con card that I can play. And this new DNA card that I can't really do anything with. So, yeah. We'll just have the gastrointestinal pathogen just deal some damage, I guess. So it's going to deal 2 damage before the body gets to act. Oh, by the way, I did that other thing a little wrong. These aren't supposed to go back in the body if the body does attack you. They just get removed from the game. And then the immune system response. Add an IgG token to any player's pathogen. This is going to have to be me. So we get some IgG, and then draw a new immune card for the pathogen. And this time it is a neutrophil. I shuffled these back up, by the way. If one of your pathogens has IgG or C3, move there and increase to 8 attack. Well, this pathogen is now dead. Boo. That is no good. But at least it's better than it was last turn. Okay, and we're going to just discard this card. I don't really want it. And we're going to draw back up. 1, 2. There we go. There we go. That is much better. All right. And then we're going to get my super pathogen with my exfoliative toxin and an open wound environment. And then we're going to put my super pathogen with Shiga toxin attached. And we'll see how much damage we can do to the body this turn. So environment open wound means I get to attack the tissue first. So we got 1, 2, 3. And you can see how you can sort of starve for DNA in this game. 1, 2, 3. And I get to deal 5 damage, and I defeat another lysozyme for 2. And now I can start actually attacking the tissue system, which is great. And then we get our immune response, and we're getting close to the end of the game, which is really bad. If one of your pathogens has IgG or C3, connect this pathogen to another one of your pathogens using IgM token. When one pathogen dies, the other does as well. So, let's see, macrophage. If one of your pathogens is IgG or C3, move there and increase to 10 attack. None of them do. So this is going to attack me and deal enough damage to kill this thing. Then I get an IgM token on this, but there's not any other things to attach an IgM token to, but I might as well just put an IgM token on this. But there's no other toxins or no other pathogens to attach IgM tokens to. So we're just going to leave that how it is. Now that is the official rules of how you're supposed to resolve the order of things. I don't really know about those. I think specifically drawing cards should happen first, but it gets really tricky. These cards really do sort of contradict themselves a little bit in terms of timing. They contradict the rule book more specifically. But we're going to play that turn that way, and that way I get to deal some damage, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that is the official rules. And hey, the official rules lets me do things that seem unfair, then is on them. All right, we got 4 more cards, and then we got 1 more, and it looks like we're getting really close to the end of the game. So let's see if we can deal some more damage to the body, because we are definitely not hitting my high score from last game. Okay, this is really good. This is really good, though. I get a cholera toxin. Ba-ba-ba! Very nice. I can use this environment card to draw a card and then trash a card. I guess I don't need 2 alpha hemolysins, particularly not right now. So we're going to trash one of these alpha hemolysins. And then we've got some adhesin that I can attach. Give this guy some really good defense, because that's what we need, is lots of good defense. And then I've still got a couple of cards in my hand. I think I might discard the fertility plasmid. I don't think I need it. I'll hold on to this alpha hemolysin, though. So, immune response first. Plasma cell. Add an IgG token to this pathogen. Each other player must also attach an IgG token to one of their pathogens. Well, there's no other players, but we will put an IgG token on this one, unfortunately. And then I'm going to deal some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to the gastrointestinal tract. So, look at that. Boom. Very nice. And then we're going to draw back up. Man, I got a little happy with these competence cards. I mean, they're really nice to have, but they don't really help me out that much. Let's get another gastrointestinal pathogen into play, and we're going to use these competence cards. Actually, we're going to use 1 competence card and 2 DNA to upgrade this to a super multi-point of entry pathogen. And then we're going to attach protein A and the alpha hemolysin to that super multi-point of entry pathogen. And then I still have this competence. I think I need mycolic acid. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to get the mycolic acid. And we're going to save my other DNA. Okay, perfect. Then we get our immune response. And this is actually going to be the last round, it looks like. Uh-oh. Okay, oh man, a cytotoxic C cell. If the pathogen dies, 1 automatic damage to the body. Unfortunately, though, the pathogen is going to die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not enough. So we're going to deal 1 automatic damage to the body. Just because we haven't really hit the tissue system, let's deal a damage to the tissue system. And then the pathogen lives, it does -2 damage to the body this round. So the pathogen is going to live, but it's going to deal -2 damage. So we're only dealing 5 damage. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's add up all our damage and see how much we were able to do to the body in this game of Pathogenesis. Okay, I've separated these into groups of 10. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 damage. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 damage. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 56 damage. Wow, I would not have even won the normal game. That's probably because I was focusing on multiple tracks instead of laser focusing all of my damage on one tract. But wow, that was a really, really bad score. I think I maybe got a little unlucky with some of these immune system cards, especially that chemokine and the fact that I had to discard a card when there were still 3 immune system cards out, so I had 3 fewer immune system cards when I shuffled the deck. Yeah, there were a lot of things that went against me this game. But that is basically how you play Pathogenesis with my solo variant. I think it's a lot more fun that way. Instead of just going after one, like laser focused on one body tract, which you either win or you lose. For one thing, I don't think that's very interesting, especially when I won on my first game. And also, yeah, this one's a lot more variable. You get to play around with a lot more different types of cards that belong to different body tracts, and you get to have a more granular view of how you did with an actual score. So that is the variant. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're feeling well. And for all of you under the weather, that's all she wrote. Doesn't that sound ominous?